Hello and welcome this evening. This is Dr. Brenda Roach, but you can call me Brenda because it's just much easier. So once you tune in, put your name down below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're catching this on a replay, put hashtag replay down below, and again, let me know where you're tuning in from. Hey Tiffany, glad you're joining me. And if you find this helpful, please let me know that in the comment sections below as well. And hey Donna, glad you're joining me. And if you, Skylar, thanks for coming on. And if you think that someone else could benefit from this, please forward this on as well and share it. Hey Kels, glad you're joining me. And so again, I'm going to be talking tonight. This is a whole series. We're on part 6 of a series, really talking about how to take back your life. And tonight we're going to be really focusing on kind of your time and how to prioritize your time and where is all of your time going. So again, if you're finding this helpful as I go along, hey Kelsey, give me some thumbs up, give me some loves. Hey Tom, glad you're joining me. Again, if you find this helpful, let me know. Hey Skylar, and pass it on as well. And so this is, again, a series. If you are just catching this and you haven't caught the first 5 parts of the series, let me know down below and say tag me, and I'll tag you in the first 5 videos so that this makes a little bit more sense as we go along as well, so you don't have to try and go back and try and find those in Facebook land, which can be kind of hard. So let me know on those and we can kind of go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to jump right in and talk about the topic for tonight. So again, it's getting our priorities straight. And hey Jessica, glad you're here, and really talking about getting our time back. Hey Kimmy, and so hey Lori, millions of Americans and people all over the world, we spend our time just juggling, between work and personal obligations, trying to get ahead and keeping up with the pace of life. And it can be really, really hard. Yet Tom, I will definitely tag you. The work hours can be really long and fit in, and so most of the time we're fitting in all of our personal errands on the lunch hours or on weekends because we're working so much. We take classes and conferences for our work. We're trying to keep up with all of the latest technology, and now with social media, how much time are we spending on that? And so we really all of our attention is kind of pulled away. And so really looking at how are we spending our time? Because we have a choice about how we live our life. And sometimes we don't think we do. We have a choice about how we spend our time. We can either continue the way things are and hope it gets better, or we can do something about it. So which one are you going to do? Are you just going to continue with how things are? And maybe you're satisfied with that. And if you are, amazing. I'm really glad. Hey, Brittany, glad you're joining. I'm not satisfied with my life. And so that's why I'm doing this series, because I'm doing all of this work along with you as we continue on this series. Because I really, hey, Gerald, nice to have you here, really want to find a better balance in my life. And so this really is a way for us to all work through this together and support each other as we look at, are we satisfied with how we're spending our time in our life? Do we want to spend it differently? Hey, Janelle, glad you're joining. And so this whole series is about, it's about self-care and how do we kind of regain our life and what do we do in order to do that. So in this part of the series, we're going to be focusing on 3 things. First, we're going to take a realistic look at how we spend our time now. What gets your attention? What gets your focus on a daily basis? Because by taking, a close look at where you spend your time, you can clearly kind of look at where you've defined your priorities right now. And then you can ask yourself whether hey Shelly, glad you joined me. We're so glad to see you the last weekend as well. We can look at, is that how we want our priorities to be? Because how we're spending our time now is how we're prioritizing our time. But is that how we really want to prioritize our time? And seeing our schedule down on paper can be really helpful sometimes for us to really look at that. That's the first thing, and we're going to start that tonight. And once we've identified our current priorities, then I'm going to ask you to call upon, guidance of your wise self. And for those of you that watched a series 2 weeks ago, we talked about our wise self. And that really is going to help us look at how to reprioritize what we really want in life. And we're going to use that and intentionally reorder our priorities. And then finally, once you've set your new priorities, I'm going to show you how to honor those so that you really can take the time in your life to do that. So starting off, where we're going to start on is, where does your time go? I know at the end of the day, I kind of look at it sometimes and go, I don't even have an idea where I spent most of my time. Hey, Megan, glad you've joined me. So we're going to be talking about a schedule, and at the end of this video, I am going to be putting down a PDF, attaching it to this video that you can download, and it's going to have kind of a schedule and some ideas so that you can really work along with me on this and really take the time between now and next Thursday when we come back on at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time to continue this series, and really write down your schedule so that we can really kind of begin to prioritize that and look at that and continue to work on that. So, one thing you might notice is next time when I start talking about our priorities, you might start getting nervous because we come up with a lot of excuses. Because if I ask you to send me a copy of your schedule, and I might say, well, why don't you, might need to cancel some things. But you might say, oh, but I've already canceled this appointment with this person 3 times. I can't really cancel anymore. I'm president of a board, and I really can't not, show up for that. And so, but you do have a choice to do that or not. And so, some of those choices might be really difficult, but they still are a choice. And so we really need to look at that. And if you want to make, a quick and dramatic improvement in the quality of your life, you might need to make a big choice. And that really might be, for example, resigning as that vice president, or having someone else take that over, or leaving a job that you just are overwhelmed on, or leaving a relationship that's just draining you. Those are really hard choices to make, but you might need to make those if you really want to make a big, dramatic change at this point in time in your life. Or you might prefer a slower change of pace by making a smaller choice, and that's okay too. And that might just be canceling an appointment for the afternoon and doing something fun for yourself to reduce your stress level. Keeping one night totally free so that you can just relax. Again, those are all choices. The point is, you have choices about how to live your life. It's just a question about how ready, willing, and able are you to make them. That's the big question, because our time is finite. You can only there's only a certain amount of time. There's 168 hours in a week, 52 weeks in a year if you're lucky. Time is a gift that we are given, but it's not granted. It's not, we take it for granted a lot of times. We get so caught up in the busyness of our daily lives that we rarely stop and take a serious look at how we're spending this gift. I know for me, I've been doing this for years and taking it for granted a lot. And that's really why I've started this series, is because I've taken a hard look at my life and really know that I need to make some changes. And I would bet that some of you watching this are at that same spot as well. And so we can really do this together and really support each other in making some of these hard decisions. So, hey, Katie, glad you joined me. So, instead of, using all of our tools, we have all of these calendars and electronic calendars and all of these things that we use to kind of manage our time. The truth is, we can only manage ourselves. We really can't manage our time. We only have 24 hours in a day. So the only way to truly make more time is to say no, to schedule less appointments, or to cancel appointments. It's called self-management, not time management. And that's what I think we really need to start looking at and kind of considering when we're looking at all of these things. And so when we fill out this PDF that I'm going to be attaching to this video when I'm done with the video, it's going to have total hours in a day for each day. And you're going to write it down. So on average, when we look at most people, they spend about 7 hours sleeping, and that could be in bed not sleeping, but anytime you're just in bed, including time sleeping or just laying in bed. Working people spend about 12 hours a day, and that's just work time, but that's commuting time, that's worrying about work time, that's taking work home, it's prepping for work, so all of those hours. And then we have life maintenance, which is cooking and eating and cleaning and running errands and getting dressed and doing all those things. And that's at about 4 hours a day people spend. And time to self is 1 hour a day, if we're lucky. And we're already at 24 hours a day. There's no more time left in a day. So when we write down our schedule like this, it really will help you look at how we're spending our time, how we're prioritizing it. Because when we look at that, that's why our weekends end up being kind of a catch-all for everything, where we're kind of doing all the other kind of tasks that we need to do. Hey, Naomi, glad you joined me. You know, we're shopping for groceries and we're doing all the personal tasks that we can't get done during the week. You know, inevitably, we're also taking work home oftentimes and doing that as well. So one of the best ways to see whether your schedule really reflects your priorities is to lay it out on paper, and that's what I'm going to ask you to do. Lay out a typical schedule for the week, because you're going to get a great idea of what you actually are spending your time on. And so again, I'll be putting that down in the comment section and attaching that to this video when I'm all done. So where are you spending your gift of time? That's what I want you to really be looking at over the next week. Fill in your daily activities along with the average number of hours that you're spending. Be creative. Use a big, large piece of paper if you need to, with plenty of room to kind of write. Capture all the details that you do. You know, and maybe at work you want to break it down into even the tasks you do at work and how much time you're spending. Because are you even spending the time on tasks at work that you actually even enjoy? Or are you spending most of your time at work doing all the other kind of things that you don't even really enjoy? Biggest thing is you need to be honest with yourself. When you do this, you know, calculate your work time, but make sure you're calculating in all the work time, the time you're worrying about it, the commuting time, the time you're, you know, prepping for work, all of those things. So you need to be really honest in putting those down. Go back and look at your calendar for the last couple of weeks, or if you don't have a calendar, you know, ask people in your lives too. They would probably be honest with you and be able to tell you how they see you spending your time as well. So again, it really is important to be writing all of this down. So my challenge for you is to take the PDF when I put it out here, to fill out your schedule for the next week. You know, and what's your typical week look like? How much time are you spending? Because we're going to take that information next week and we're going to go to the next level and talk about priorities and how we can reset those priorities. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope you're finding this series helpful. If you are, put some comments down below. Give me some loves. Share this out to people who you think it could be helpful. Again, if you haven't caught the first part of this series, tag me down below in the comment section, and I'll tag you in the first 5 videos of this series so that you don't have to try and go and find those and waste some of your precious time on doing that as well. So again, thank you for joining me. Again, if you're just kind of tuning in, my name is Dr. Brenda Roach, but you can call me Brenda because it's just much easier. And I'm really excited to continue on this journey with you to help you figure out how to take your life back and not allow our lives to run us, but we get a choice in regards to what we do from here. So again, thank you so much, and I will be back on next Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time to continue this series. If you're catching it by replay, put hashtag replay down below and let me know where you're tuning in from. Thank you very much.